It's good to have you with us on the Overcomers Overcoming podcast series, where we profile those who have overcome or those who are in the process of overcoming any life situation. We have three objectives with this podcast. We want for everyone to know who's experiencing any sort of life experience, a dilemma. We want you to know that you're not alone in this. We will work with you to help you through whatever it is you're experiencing. Our second objective is to help you understand and be resolved to the fact that there are multiple solutions to anything you're experiencing. It may be difficult to fully believe because of the magnitude of whatever it is you're experiencing, but actually there are multiple solutions for any life experience we have. Our third objective is to help you with critical thinking skills. If the situation you're encountering right now might be a result of a choice you made earlier in life that if you had a life redo, you would make a different decision, we want to help you analyze all the facts and factors involved in making a very informed decision. I'm Ron Cooper, founder of the Cooper Culture. I'm with my wife and business partner, Marty. Together, we are the Cooper Culture, and the Cooper Culture is sponsoring this podcast series. Today, we feature Raj Kapur, who immigrated from India and has a very intriguing life experience of how he has overcome several challenges in his life. Marty, what are some things that our listeners should listen for?
Ron, just think about this. Raj flies into a new country, a new airport, and as he comes off that plane and stands in the airport with just $20. But I'd like for everyone to listen to his determination got him where he is today.
And that determination, Marty, is a matter of mindset. And that is something, listen very carefully for, you'll know without any reservation that Raj had a mindset that he would overcome, he would conquer anything that he is having to conquer to get through to achieve whatever it is that he has in mind. He is a goal setter. I also want to make you aware of a very special program that he has designed and authored. It's a very detailed program that you'll want to take part in. Listen at the end of this podcast for that offer. Raj, thank you for joining us. I know you have a great story of mindset. You immigrated to the U.S. from India, and at that time, the rules were you could only bring $20 with you, which possibly in today's dollars might be 40 or 50, but it seems to me that you had a mindset that nothing would deter you from achieving a goal that you had in mind. And in the context of goal-setting mindset, what you did then to immigrate to the U.S., I think our listeners can learn from that, the mindset that it takes to overcome anything. Just before you speak, Raj, I do want to make our listeners aware that you have created a phenomenal Guidance to Wealth course that everybody needs, and embedded in that is the mindset to have the financial discipline to do anything that you need to do. Raj, I think our listeners are going to be very intrigued with your story.
Thank you so much, Ron. Thank you for inviting me to your group so where I can tell my story, and I hope I'm able to actually influence few people to get the direction in their life like I did. And yes, my journey has been ups and downs, successes and failures, but it has been an amazing journey, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So just to get back to the start, I was born in New Delhi in a middle-class family. Both my parents were teachers, and so education was a very must for us. That was the mindset, get educated, highly educated, and that is what was my mindset. And coming to United States was something which I always wanted because my uncles had come here. And when they brought back the stories, they were telling how United States is. It was so intriguing. And the education. I wanted to get my master's in business from the United States. That was my essence. And so when time came, I decided that I want to come here. I applied to the colleges here, and I got accepted into a college in Long Island, New York. And all I could bring was $20 with me because that is what was allowed. But at that time, to get to the United States was not cheap. And so the only possession of value that I had at that time was my motorcycle. So I sold my motorcycle to take a one-way ticket to America. That's how, with $20 in my pocket, I came in 1987 to the United States. And that is how my journey began. And you can imagine how wide my eyes were at that time when I landed at JFK Airport, finally to a place where I had thought, in my mind at that time, the picture was America was so much larger than life for me, because that is what I had seen in movies. That is what I had heard about it. And I had been following the music, the comics, the people that I knew, and it felt like this was the place where roads were literally paved with gold. That is how it was. But believe me, that was not the truth, because you have to work for it. Things just don't come to you. What America gave me was the opportunity that I was looking for, but it had its price. And the price was that you have to work hard, you have to be very persistent, and you have to overcome the so-called failures in life. Because many times in the beginning, it would be taking those failures and sweeping them under the rug. But that is not how it works. It has to be how you learn from it and move forward. So when I came to the United States, after 2 days, I joined the college, and I worked very hard at it. And the 3-year college degree, I was able to get it into because I worked on the weekends in the college, in the cafeteria because there were weekend classes, and I worked in the library, I worked in the dean's office. Whatever opportunity I got, I worked on it, to the point that I was doing the work of a professor, and they gave me full tuition reimbursement in the college. And so once I finished my master's, my MBA, I thought this was now a beautiful life for me. But you know what? Things happen, and I did not get a job because job market at that time became very tight. And at that time, I was working with one of my colleagues, helping him, who was a CPA. And then a job opened up in a nonprofit organization where I actually joined. And for me, it was a temporary job because I said, it's a nonprofit. Okay, I'll be there for few, maybe months or a couple of years, but my main aim was Wall Street. Because Wall Street was always intriguing. I used to go there and used to be just fascinated going to New York City. It was just so, I still am, by the way, fascinated with New York City. I just love it. It's that beautiful, and it has so much going on there all the time. And I used to go there, work with professors from New York University and others. But once I joined the nonprofit organization, slowly I started realizing the work that it was doing to make an impact on people. And that was something which sort of kept me there. And in my job, I was there for 18 years. And I loved it because I was making such a difference. But from a monetary perspective, I was still not at the point where I wanted to be. Because from a monetary perspective, nonprofits can only pay you so much. And so that burning desire in me, which was that I left my family, came here, I need what was success to me. Success to me at that time was to get a lot of money, to have a Mercedes-Benz. That was one of my goals. Have a large, beautiful house in the suburbs. And other things that were, because it might seem that it might not be the right thing to think, but that is what success was for me. When I was looking at all the movies, talking to all the people who were successful in my eyes. So at that juncture, I met someone who actually said that, Raj, you have so much capability. Come and join me in a business, and you can make $100,000+ and be rich. And I was impressed by his $500,000 mansion, which must be multi-million now in today's dollars, in Long Island, and his Jaguar, his Mercedes, his Cadillac, and his businesses. And you know what? I felt he's living my dream. And I'm so lucky he came into my life. And so without thinking, and this is something which I would like to talk now, without thinking, I invested money with him for a ladies' clothing dress business. The concept was to buy overruns of expensive dresses from New York City warehouses and sell them for cheap at local stores in neighborhoods where people couldn't afford much. The concept had worked for some people before, but I had no knowledge of this at all. And that is one thing which I made a big mistake at that time by investing in there, because I invested in something which I had no knowledge. I fully trusted. And working really hard, I gave him $10,000, and I was making maybe less than $30,000 at that time, all on credit cards. So long story short, within 6 months, I started seeing that the business wasn't doing much. We did everything to move to different places, from New York City to Queens to Long Island, from actual warehouse to shops to flea markets. Nothing worked. And that was very convincing. And he said, it takes time to make business. And let's put it this way. By the time we wrapped up the business, I was $50,000 under debt.
Oh,
and
wow.
Before that, I just found out that that guy had filed for bankruptcy before he met me. And he had literally swindled the money that we had put in the business because he was using it for his own gain. And so I was at that time completely broken. And the trust that I had in others just was dwindling. And I was wondering, where do I go from here? At that juncture, my CPA, my friend, told me, Raj, you need to file for bankruptcy. You have no option. Coming from the background where my parents are teachers, there is such credibility there. How could I do that? How could I make myself do that? And so at that time, I started reading books. I said, I have done my MBA, and I thought I knew everything that was there about finances to know from that MBA. But you know the truth? Our colleges and schools do not teach us anything about money, anything about finances. And so I said, I'm going to make it a study to see where I went wrong. And so the first book I picked up, and that was when I was coming back from my CPA's office. I stopped at Borders bookstore, and this book just popped up, The Richest Man in Babylon. And once I read this book, I said, I know exactly where I've gone wrong. These are principles which are ages old, but they're still, the laws are still prevalent now. Just the exchange has changed, but the laws don't change. So learning from that, I made it a study in my life to learn everything that I could about money and wealth. And I studied, and I studied, and I learned. I created spreadsheets because being an accountant, I was able to do all that. And within 3 years' time, Ron, I was able to pay off all my debt and be debt-free. I did not file for bankruptcy. Later in my life, I actually became a CFO, Chief Financial Officer. I rose up in the ranks. And you know what? If I would have declared bankruptcy at that time, who would have trusted me with millions of dollars from federal, state, and local funds? Being a CFO, I couldn't have never got that job. So it was the persistence, that laser focus that needs to be coming in. And from that time, I then created my own system. Because you know what I couldn't find anywhere was that I believe there are 4 basic things that people need to understand about money and wealth, which they don't. And the reason I'm telling here is for the listeners is that if you get these few things, this might really help you in understanding simple basics. First is generation of wealth. Without that, nothing happens. Second is how you save. Most people just stop at first one, that is generation of wealth and money. But then the second thing comes in is savings. Now, we are a nation of non-savers, but that's a very important aspect. Then the third one comes in, use the money that you are saving to grow. So how you grow your money, those are the techniques. And fourth is protection of your money. And I learned all these four things through opening many businesses in my life. Always had a job on the side where I was working, but I had failures in businesses. I had successes. And a couple of businesses, specifically one, that went over $1 million in sales a few years in a row. So I have seen that success, where it is. And I know where a person can move from where getting $20 in their pocket coming to the country and what $1 million looks like. And believe me, $1 million doesn't solve all the problems. It won't. But you know what? It does make them easy. Now you can go in there with at least a mind where you know that you're secure. And that is where the fourth one is protection of money. But the most important thing is the wealth habits and the mindset. So I have worked as a coach with many people who are millionaires, but they are miserable. And the reason is they don't have that relationship with money. They're making good money, they're spending money like crazy, but that relationship is not there because they feel they will lose everything. So once you start changing your mindset, that law of attraction starts to work and things start changing in your life. But you have to work towards it. It just doesn't come to you automatically. There are certain things you need to do to get that. And so from that, later on, people asked me, how have you done it? And from that, where I created, I said, let me do something. And I left my full-time job because now I wanted to do something more, which was my passion. I had joined the John Maxwell team. I became a coach, trainer, speaker, and huge changes in my life. Because as a CFO, I was very happy behind the desk and not to go forward and let other people speak. But that yearning was in there that I have done. How do I get that? And that was, so in life, always there are different steps that come in, and you have to overcome. Like you said, overcomers, overcoming. So it is not that I had to just overcome once. That overcoming keeps on happening in your life over and over, over and over, over and over again. If you want to strive, grow, and become your best self. That is what it is. Become your best self. And so many times your mindset will take you back. But if you keep the focus on those goals that you have created, and that's another thing I do, create the goals which make sense, not just what you're penning on a piece of paper. So at that juncture, as I said, I created my course called Guidance to Wealth. And that course has, and you have gone through that course, you know all about it, and you are one of the big proponents for that, and thank you so much for that. But that course has changed life of hundreds of people. Hundreds of people. Few of them told me that if they had this course a few years ago, they would have few $100,000 in their bank account. One person told me that this was better than the MBA he just finished. So all I'm telling you is not to impress, but impress upon people that if you do the things the right way, you have your goals, and you are going to be persistent, things will change, and they change, and you will overcome. That's how it works.
That is very well said, Raj. What I'm taking from this, and I suspect a lot of listeners will as well, you had maybe an extraordinary perseverance. Was it a part of the Indian culture that you just have the mindset you will overcome, or is that something you had to develop in life? I'm going to juxtapose that question with, I'm observing a lot of people who are distracted by different things, and that distraction appears to be a lack of a disciplined mindset, all of this having to do with a mindset. Were you born with a very determined mindset, or is it something you had to develop? And if it's something you had to develop, maybe that's something that our listeners can really benefit from, how you develop that, what appears to be a very disciplined mindset.
Ron, no, I was not born with it. Far, far, far from it. It all had to be developed. Step-by-step approach. And there were lots of times where I felt that I should just leave it because it felt so hard and tough. But you know what? You're asking me how did I develop it. The how for that came was that I started investing in myself. At one juncture when I started going through self-development, I realized that the best thing for a person to do is to grow themselves. And once you grow yourself, that is the best investment you can make. You can make investment in the stock market. It will go up and down. But an investment that you make in yourself is only going to take you up. Only going to take you up. Because right now, if you ask me, I can't even recognize the shadow I was even 5 years ago. Even 5 years ago. So people at that juncture at 5 years ago told me, Raj, you are really successful. You have achieved your dreams. You have the car you want. You have the house you want. And the answer was, no, I was not satisfied because there was more in me. And that's when so how do you do it? Books. You go through the right books, you read the books, and you get the gist out of it. Sometimes people do is they want to read books. This is how I feel, and it's nothing wrong in any approach, anything that works. But what I do is I don't read like one book a week. Some people just do it. I just take one book, and I go deep into it, understand the concept of it. And within the given time frame where I'm doing so many things myself, I'm working with nonprofits. I have a radio show right now. I have already become a published author. I'm a speaker. I have many coaching clients. I'm working with my guidance too. So you see how much I'm doing. Was that all possible? Would I have thought that 10 years ago I would be at this juncture? Absolutely not. But I got the coaches. I got the people who could help me. I got to the right mindset. And mindset is something which you need to work on very consistently because your mind is geared towards negativity. And when things start going wrong, you start thinking negative. That's how it is. So you have to train your mind to look at what is the silver lining in the cloud. I still do. Is life a smooth sailing right now? No. No, it's not. Every time there are challenges. But the challenges increase because once you are at a different plateau or a different platform, things change. And then you start to learn how to overcome those. And the main thing, bottom line again, for everything is, it is how you overcome your challenges.
One of the things I'm assimilating from what you're saying is you had a focus. You know yourself. I'm interpreting what you're saying is in awareness. You invested in yourself. For the listener who's saying, yes, this all sounds good, but, I don't know if I can. And I've spent a bunch of money on, nothing has resulted. I just feel like everything I've done is a failure. Can you help that person focus on how they can develop, let's say it's a strength, or what is it, Raj, that you had that you believed in yourself that you're not going to read every book that's out there, but You're going to focus on those books, those subjects that will advance you?
Absolutely, Ron. So there's nothing at all extraordinary about me at all. Nothing. I'm not a very fast learner. I'm not a genius at any level. I am just the person who actually invests in myself, as I said, and that is by taking the courses which I believe are going to take me. Second most important thing is how to take a look as to what you want. So that is setting the goals that you want to become. Now, where do most people fail here? And that is including me, has happened, is that once we take a course, we are so gung-ho. And we start the course, but within few days, life catches on. Okay, there is family, there is children, there is extended family, and you have to do this, you have to do that, and that catches on, like the goals. And soon enough, that course is out of the window. You don't complete it. 95% of the courses that are purchased are not completed. Okay, that's number one. Number two is, as soon as some time passes, another course comes in, and that's that glittering gold. Oh, wow, I want this. And the person invests in a second course. Same thing. Third course, fourth course. Have I done that? Yes. Yes, I have done that. Am I guilty of that? Yes. But you know what? Once you start getting that focus back to know what you want to be. So the bottom line is this. I set a goal that this is where I want to be in next X number of years. Once I started working towards the goal, all the things started, many things in life don't work as you envision them to work. So the flexibility becomes the key. Are your goals flexible enough that you can change them to reach that level? So many times, let's say, most of the plans that I had made never worked out. There was always things that I had to change in my plans to come to the results that I was looking for. But once I had that goal, that target in mind where I'm going to reach, then I did whatever it took. Like Guidance to Wealth program, I had started on a very different tangent on this. Once I completed the course from my perspective and I showed it to people, people liked it. But when I showed it to some of the experts, their answer was the video quality is so-so, the audio quality is so-so, you need to be clear. I re-recorded everything, what is the current program, to come to the level where I wanted to give my clients the best thing that I could. But that is what you need to have in yourself, that need the yearning to grow, to become something. Because as I said, until you grow or want to grow, the rest of the things is that if you don't grow, what happens is you decay, you die. So it requires consistency. And you want to know what the main and sort of thing which is not spoken most about is that whenever you start things, there will be time when everything has started, but the momentum is going to fade out. This will happen. There is no ifs and or buts about it. The way to work it is you make it into a daily habit. You create a daily habit. I have a daily habit, and I was going to just do this before my call, but I'm going to do it as soon as I'm done. Every single day in the morning, I write down what am I grateful for, 3 things. What am I excited about? And I do an affirmation for myself. Then I put in top priorities for that day, and they cannot exceed more than 3 to 5. Then a task list, and at end of the day, I say what are today's win and what else can I improve upon. This is what I have made it a habit, and I journal every day. Maybe only a few lines, but that is how you see the progress. Because many times people have progressed, Ron, they have, but because they are not measuring it, they don't believe they have progressed. And then sometimes if they meet somebody, a friend after 10 years, they said, my God, you have changed, you have done so much, and you yourself don't realize because you have not been actually measuring it. So make it a daily habit to do those things, small things. It's only small things that are going to make a difference.
What I think I hear you saying, Raj, is you either developed or you certainly implemented a very structured process. You experienced a fairly notable financial failing, but you didn't quit life because of that. You learned from that. You said earlier that, declaring bankruptcy, by one person's opinion, seemed to be the only way to go, and you said, no, we're not going to do that. That's not right by your values. You overcame that, and I know you to be a very successful business person. You've overcome a lot of what some people would say are failings, but you're not a failure. And Raj, it seems that you have learned from everything you've done. You've taken the positive from the past and moved forward with that. And to some degree, you've forgotten about, or at least they are not dominant thoughts, about those things that did not work out the way you wanted them to. But there's nothing that's going to keep Raj from succeeding and achieving those goals that you have set for yourself, because what I'm assimilating is that you're a very disciplined mindset. You will set goals that are aligned with your strengths, and you will succeed.
Thank you for that, Ron. And yes, all that has been developed. All that has been developed, it was not there. It has taken initiative, hard work, but that is what is needed if you want to see. Success to everyone is different. To some success is good health, great health, which has to be number one from my perspective anyway. Money, wealth. Some want to be, when I'm associated with nonprofits, of helping others. So success to everyone is different. So define your own success. Do not go with the success of what other people are telling you what success looks like. Define your success and then reach those levels by developing yourself. getting into the association of the right people. So one of the big things for me was to change my association and work and be in a company of people like you, Ron, and all of our other group that we have, because all of us are overcoming, right? And that group itself boosts you, because whenever I have to bounce any idea, I can call you anytime. I know that. And I know I'm going to get an honest opinion and an answer from you. So those are the things that people need to invest in.
To the listeners, to anybody who may be looking at your life, maybe look at your house and just see the way things are, and they may have the impression that, wow, Raj, you're just a huge success. The thought might be that, wow, you have arrived, and your response to that, assimilating everything that you've said, might be something to the effect, I am enjoying a good life, everything is going to get better. Yeah, it's only taken, who knows, 35, 40 years of persistence to get to this point. But you never won the lottery. Nothing occurred quickly. You worked at it and kept working at it and kept working at it. And through a process, through people associations, you have gotten better one conversation at a time. Is that generally just kind of an overview of how your life has been?
Perfectly put, Ron. Perfectly put. Absolutely it has been. And again, once you reach that plateau, that goal, then you need to create another goal where you need to strive and move towards it. So I've reached this one. Am I happy? Am I where I am? Yeah, yes. But have I achieved what I want to? No. I have new goals now. I have new aspirations. And now, as I said, I left my job. So it is creating a whole independent business for myself, which I have started, but I want to take it to a different level. And I'm doing it in many different ways. One is guidance to wealth, where I'm helping people go and understand the actual monetary, not only mindset, but all the whys and hows of all the aspects of money and wealth. And second is the nonprofit, which has always been ingrained in me. And I have been working with lots of people across the world right now by creating a Facebook group called Nonprofit Edge, interviewing people, helping them, working with them, and that's something which I love doing. And so those are the things as I go forward, I keep on working and developing.
You've got a heart that you want to pass forward everything you have learned, and the Guidance to Wealth is a course that many people need to take. It helps develop the mindset of what you need to do to live a financially structured life. You and I know, Raj, and I have no pretense in saying this to our listeners, if you practice a financial discipline throughout life, you can reach a point in your life where you choose to do anything that you want to. Retirement is not a function of age. It is a function of having the money to retire. And Marty and I, having followed your precepts in the Guidance to Wealth course, are at a point where we are doing what we choose to do. One of those is this podcast where we want to learn from you. We want to pass forward the lessons learned, the mindset developed, and so forth. Nothing worthwhile has occurred quickly for either one of us, and we're passing forward those attributes, those character qualities that if you choose to follow, you too can be at a point of life where you can have choices, and we hope that a part of your value system is, as Raj is doing, you want to pass it forward to others. Raj, thank you for sharing your life with us.
It's been a pleasure, Ron, and thank you for bringing me, and hopefully story is able to help people understand and grow. And I know you have all your life been overcoming to the point where you have reached, which I am, anybody will envy that, both you and Marty. What a wonderful life you're leading.
Thank you for that, Raj. For our listeners, I want to promote the Guidance to Wealth course, and that course, very detailed, very well structured, that can help you develop the financial mindset, the financial discipline to never outspend what you're making. And Raj, you have set the example for all of us to follow and develop that mindset. And for anyone who may be interested in forming or making better a nonprofit organization, you are certainly the right person to help people with that.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
Raj, thank you again for sharing, and we look forward to interacting with those who are listening. And with your permission, we would like to forward the names of anyone who wants to be more conversant in financial wealth or nonprofit organizations. We want to connect you with those people.
Oh, absolutely. That would be my pleasure. Absolutely.
Thank you, Raj, and we appreciate everything that you are doing, and you are on a growth journey, and we look forward to following you on that journey.
Thank you, Ron.
What life successes do you have? Your definition of success may differ from anyone else's. That's not the important point, but share with us what you have experienced. Share with us anything you've overcome. Share with us your triumphs in life and the successes you have. We want to share that with others. We want to help others by giving them hope that they can achieve anything they set their mind to. I think that's one of the things that Raj impressed on all of us, to have a mindset, to be determined, read, focus, determine your strengths, and we can overcome any challenges that we have, any obstacles we face, that we can do those things that we set our mind to do. There may be things in your life that you feel that you have difficulty overcoming. You may be focused too much on the past. There may be things that have been said to you or about you that you feel you need to overcome, and you need coaching to help you through the various things in your life that might be keeping you from achieving your life goals. Raj, Marty, and I are certified coaches through the John Maxwell program. We are public speakers. We want to help you overcome anything in life that may be a challenge to you, because we know what it is to overcome and to share with others the victory that we have, the profound satisfaction that is had when you overcome any life challenge. Quite honestly, there's nothing that is too difficult, too large, that together we can't overcome. And as we work together to overcome, we share in the victory that you have, and we want to pass on to others to help them advance through any challenges they have. Relationships. It is all important. Your accountability partners, those with whom you have in your inner circle, you want to be very careful in choosing relationships with those who have your best interest in mind. They can help you overcome any life challenges by having your best interest in mind. Marty and I have developed a digital course on relationships. It is a dating relationship course, but we're in the process of developing a workplace relationship course where we can learn to understand and adapt to each other. And when we do that, we have a full trust, faith. We're able to communicate with and adapt to other people's personalities, lifestyles, learning styles. And when we do that, we create loyalty, trust. We're able to communicate better with each other, and we can develop a very genuine relationship. When we have that type relationship, we're able to help each other through any life challenges that we can face. What I want to offer to you, as we have emphasized in the podcast and Raj mentioned, Guidance to Wealth. He has developed, it's about 95 or maybe 99 courses on different topics that relate to the mindset and the various principles you need to have a very disciplined and structured lifestyle that relates to finances. Marty and I have reached a level in our life to where we have choices, and I say this to emphasize the fact that we have lived everything that Raj teaches in his course, and we are living examples that when those financial principles are practiced over a period of time, nothing occurs quickly. Marty and I have never won the lottery, or nor have we gained any large inheritance of any kind. But we have determined through ourselves our discipline of saving, investing, protecting everything that Raj advocates in his Guidance to Wealth program, digital course, that he wants to make available to you to help you develop the financial strength, the financial discipline you need to also live a life of choices. So let us know what you have experienced. Let us know what you are going through. Let us know that you want Raj's Guidance to Wealth course. We will connect you with Raj. Call us at 410-586-1875 or contact us by way of email at ron@thecooperculture.com or Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, at thecooperculture.com. We look forward to engaging with you, interacting with you. Let's work together and enjoy a life of freedom, success, however you define success. We look forward to working with you.